Okay, Silas. So this is your hitting analysis video, just to go over a couple things that I saw. So we just got to remember that we want to put ourselves in the best position to be successful inside the batter's box. And so it starts with our pre-movement, then it goes into our load, and then it's when you start getting into the biomechanics of the swing. But we can't do any of those things successfully if we're not put in the prime or a good position to be successful, to hit the baseball hard over and over and over again. And so you see your setup. I think you could have a little more flexion in the knees. You start open, so your hips are already slightly open to the pitcher. And we know when we get that front foot down, we want to be square to the pitcher. You think your hands are in a good position as well. They're tight to the body. They're over your back foot, and I mean, your base, you might be able to get a little wider, but um, I think it's a solid base for right now. So you can see as you start to get into your swing, we see that your first movement is with your shoulders. So your shoulders moving in this direction. So I can already tell you that you're going to close yourself off to the pitcher. So if you look at it, your shoulder comes here, and then you're still in your open stance. So now my hips are open slightly this way. My shoulder is not closing off this way. And so that's just going to cause problems with your bat path, because now my body has to fight. Now my hips are open and my shoulders are closed. My body's going to have to overcompensate and open up early because to get the bat hit through, because of your shoulders being closed off, and then your hips being open. If you don't get back to square, you're gonna pull off. You're gonna not stay on the baseball, and it's going to be hard to get extension. It's going to be hard to fall through the baseball, and it's going to be hard to stay tight and connected with your swing. So we want to make sure that I can see your chest the whole time. So we want our hips to be square, and we want our shoulders to stay square. So I should be able to see the Superman on your chest the entire time, and you can see that it's getting closed off. And so when I'm looking at your lower half first, because if we want to address anything with the swing, we have to make sure our lower half is working right. So you see, once you get the front heel strike, you're already opening that foot up early, because that's to overcompensate for here. When it gets down, we want to make sure that we keep this knee. We want to make sure that the weight is always inside of the foot. And you can kind of see your weight. Now it's inside of the foot. So we want to make sure we either preset or when we load up, we keep this weight on the inside of our knee, because yours is kind of right top down right over it. And that's going to give us a more effective load with our lower half to let us really fire this back knee in. Once we get to front foot strike, it should fire and everything should go. So this should go, and then the hips go, and then everything else goes. So we could load that back leg or those vectors better. And so that's all I see with your lower half is. Let's not open up so early. Let's try to load this back leg better, and then let's try to fire those hips and that knee through, so we can transfer that energy to our front side a little better. But you turn over pretty good, and that foot comes through good as well. Turn over nice. You're not doing the switch to bug theory. You're actually driving that back hip to the baseball. So that's good. So I think you stabilize really well with the front foot. So I think your lower half is working good. We just need to address not opening up so early and maybe loading that back leg more effective. So now when I look at the upper body, I've already said we got to stay square to the pitcher. Don't want to rotate that front shoulder to close us off, because that means we're going to have to fly open and you're going to roll over. And you saw that you had a lot of problems with hitting weak ground balls to the shortstop, and that means that your shoulders are just not staying square to the pitcher long enough to allow you to stay on the baseball, and you're pulling off of it. And especially you'll get tore by inside pitching, and some of your best swings were hitting the ball to the right center gap because of you staying so closed when you get to heel strike. And so we want to make sure that our hands are not here. We want them right over the back foot. So this is my back foot, so my hands should be somewhere in this area. So this is not going to allow you to stay connected and stay tight. You're going to get away from your body, and it's going to make your swing long. So we got to make sure we keep those hands in that position. You want flexion in this arm here. Your arm barring, that's not going to give you an effective bat path. You're going to have a lot of swing and misses because you won't be able to be in the hitting zone for quite a while, like some of the best hitters in the major leagues. So here we want to make sure this bottom hand gives us our direction. So we want to make sure we replace this, our bottom hand with our elbow and not with our shoulder. So you can see that you replace it with your shoulder. So it should move in this position here, and it doesn't. It drops down, like your hand goes in this position and then in that position, and that's way too long. We want the fastest way anywhere is in a straight line. So that's where we want to move, not down and up. And it's because you don't have that flexion in your arm, you're not tight, your hands get away from you. It takes too much time for them to get close to your body, and at that point your bat head is well behind. You don't have any bat lag, because that bat should be more in this position. It should be in this position. It should be in that position, and you see that it's already at a down angle when it should be tucked to the side here like this. So you come, now you're way open. The shoulder here is way open. So we get to contact, you're over top of the ball, so I know your bat path is flat, even though you're still trying to do it, have a slight upswing, which is what we want, 10-degree upswing on the ball. You hit the top of that baseball, and I still believe you could have a little more flexion here at contact, and then we want to hit through that baseball. But because you're kind of overextended already at contact, it doesn't allow you to hit through that baseball. You see that you hit it, and then now you're beginning to roll over already. You need to hit that ball like it's right here, and that bat should hit it, so it hits it here, and then you should go another step further and it should go out here. But you can see when you get out there, it's already rolling over to this side instead of moving in this direction and then going here. And so we make your follow through better, and you hit through the baseball. That's when you really begin to start having consistency, and you start hitting the ball for power and hitting the ball hard. So good follow through. Come over, you really roll over the top hand really well. Just need to hit through that baseball longer, and that's it. And then we want to make sure that you stay balanced. So you see how you're spinning off, which means that you really are opening up. That's how I know that you're opening up, because your body can't even stay still and square, because you have to really throw that shoulder at the baseball to open up. So we want to lead. We don't want to lead with the shoulder. We want to load that backside effectively. And we want to throw the hands of the baseball, and then we want to be able to take a pitcher. So you should be able to stay in this position here without spinning off like that. So try to keep our balance. So balance, a effective lower half, which will make our upper body effective and put ourselves in better position. So we'll work on these things, and overall, I think you have a pretty good swing, but just have some minor stuff we need to work on.